Hey, I'm the My Movies, and 2022 has come to an end, so I'm going to be ranking my top 10 worst films that I saw in 2022. Without further ado, let's start with last place. So for Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Logic Rules. Before you guys are like, this movie's an hour and 15 minutes. Well, I count movies that are hour and 15 minutes to be movies. If they're shorter than that, then they're not really movies, even counting the credits. So, yeah, that's why this movie's on this list. So, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Logic Rules. This movie is just, I don't know. It's just, it rushes it. And, I feel like it focuses more on the movie than it does on the book, which I want to see it focus more on the book than it would on the movie. But yeah, they just rushed the relationship, and it doesn't feel connected. I am excited for next year's Diary of a Wimpy Kid because we didn't get a full movie of that. But right now, it disappoints me to see Logic Rules not do well. Coming after Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Logic Rules, in 9th place, we have Hotel Transylvania 4. Now, this movie starts off good. It starts off good. And then I don't remember Hotel Transylvania being like this weird. I don't remember it, I don't really know how to explain it, but the jokes weren't as good as I remember them being in the original movies. I remember the jokes being good when I was littler, but now watching the 4th one, the jokes weren't as good, and the last hour of this movie was just really bad. It just wasn't that entertaining. In 8th place, we have Zombies 3. Now, this is a Disney Channel movie, which the first Zombies in this franchise is obviously the best by a long shot, and I was very disappointed with Zombies 3. The music is nowhere near as good as the original film. I like it how the franchise is connected, but this movie did not work for me. Some of you guys may like it, but I found it extremely slow. I mean, yes, it is a Disney Channel movie, but just, the acting is so cringy. And it's like a movie you can laugh at and to enjoy it, but it still isn't that good. It's so stupid and yeah. Very disappointing add to this trilogy. In 7th place, we have the live-action version of Pinocchio. Now, some of you guys, this will be at your worst movie of the year. Well, for me, it made the top 10 worst movies of the year, but was it really the worst movie of the year? Because when I go to see Pinocchio in live action, what I want to see is directly, I want to see perfectly taken out of the animation and made into live action, and just with changes that add to characters. That's what I want to see. This movie, I liked it all except for the stuff they added in. All the music they added in that wasn't in the original film sucked. Every element they added in did not work. This is just Disney Plus making use of money without taking their time with it. They're doing it with Willow's, National Treasure, Santa Claus. They're doing it with all these good shows. They're not even taking their time with it. And that just had to affect this live action that had a chance of being successful. But they rushed it in order to get it on Disney Plus, which made it not turn out well. Which makes the worst remake Disney live-action movie that has ever walked on this earth. But coming in 6th place, we have Morbius. Now, this movie for Morbius, you can make fun of it, which will make it enjoyable because you're making fun of it. But it's just that this movie was seriously like the worst movie Sony has made. Because I was a fan of Venom Let There Be Carnage. I was a fan of the first Venom. But for Morbius, it was so... It came out on April Fool's Day. What would you expect? Like, obviously, this movie was not gonna succeed. Like, Sony even released it back in theaters and took it out once it made $7. This movie is not good, but it is fun to make fun of, which is why it's not lower on this list. But coming in 5th place, we have a movie that I bet most of you guys watching this have never even heard of. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original, and that is Marvin Duke. Now, some of you guys think I'm talking about the live-action movie that came out in like 2010. No. What I'm talking about is the animated Muscle Dog. And that might sound weird, but if you look up a picture of him, it'll make sense. And then look up a character of their dad. This movie... Okay, the reason why I watched this movie in the first place... I watched this video on YouTube. He's like talking about how Netflix makes bad movies. I laughed so hard at the video that I thought this might be a funny movie that you can make fun of like Morbius was. I watched it. The last hour of this movie is extremely bad. Like, it goes extremely slow. The first hour was what I was expecting. Make fun of the movie. That's the first hour of this movie. But, like, the last few hours... not few hours. The last, like, 45 minutes... This is too slow. There's nothing to make fun of. It's just added plot to extend the runtime of the movie. Which is why it's after Morbius, because Morbius, you could, like, make fun of the entire thing. This one, you could only make fun of the first half, and the second half, not so much. Coming in 4th place, we have The Monsters, directed by Rob Zombie, which is very disappointing as well, because this movie could have been something good, but it didn't turn out well. It was just slow. I had to watch it in 2 sittings. I have not seen the original show, which might affect it, but it was just slow and sloppy, I feel like. It was also too long for what it was as well. This movie, there's nothing funny about it, which is what this movie is supposed to be. The plot is just weird, and it's not as good as it needs to be. It could have been better because it was directed by Rob Zombie, but to be fair, he was basing it from a show I never even heard of. I was just very disappointed with this movie. Like, I watched the review for it. They said it was bad. But what did I think? I was like, I'll watch it. Because I just like watching bad movies for some reason. And was it bad? Of course it was. So, do yourself a favor if you haven't seen this. Don't watch it. I feel bad whoever wants to buy this on DVD. I saw it at Walmart the other day. But not as bad as the top 3. So before we get to the top 3, like the video if you've been enjoying it so far. It helps me out. Or subscribe. And let's start the top 3. So in 3rd place we have Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. Okay. If you look up a picture of a poster for this movie, it looks like it's going to be a very good animated movie. The trailer comes out. It's like a PlayStation 2 animation. And then you could be like, okay, maybe don't judge stuff by animations. Like, don't judge a book by its cover, okay? The actors, not even the original cast. and the original cast is what brought the enjoyment of Ice Age. I mean, at least Buck Wild is the same. The story is even worse than everything I just said. There's like nothing funny about this movie as well. They want you to laugh at jokes, but you don't laugh at them. It's worse than Thor: Love and Thunder. They want you to laugh at the jokes, but you will not laugh at the jokes. This is like seriously I was a fan of Ice Age, especially the third one. The third one is by far the best one, the best comedy and story. And this one is so disappointing on so many levels. In second place, we have one of my brother's favorite movies and one of my first videos on this channel. We have Jurassic World Dominion. Was my very first video on my channel, and it's the movie in second place on this list. I did a good job explaining why this movie is bad in my first video, but my first video is extremely boring, so do not watch it. But basically, I did not understand the story at all for this movie. Can you please tell me in the comment section below, what in the world were the bugs doing in this movie? Because the way Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom ended off, they ended off on like, they could do this big story about dinosaurs all around the world, and like final battles like bring it all back into Jurassic Park or something like that. But nope, they do this story about bugs. And the original cast and the new cast. The new cast should have been in the place where the original cast was. And the original cast should go where the new cast was. Because we want to see the original cast more. Not the new cast. The new cast should be like what the original cast was doing in this movie. Like, I just didn't understand the story at all. The action battles, there was one action battle where I didn't fall asleep in. The rest of the time, I was seriously falling asleep in the theater. If you want to see more problems I had with Jurassic World Dominion, check out my first video, but it's boring. Be aware of that. But anyways, that's not the worst movie of the year. The worst movie of the year is Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Okay. Here's another disappointing one. Before you guys are all like, how in the world is this at number 1? Well, seriously, like the first 30 minutes of this movie was like barely even good. I mean, like, it's good. I say the first 20 minutes are the best part of this movie. That other 10 minutes, barely. But then the rest is the same problem with Jurassic World. What is the story in this? Like, I guess I saw it coming because Fantastic Beasts 1 and 2 were bad. But I didn't expect the third one to be this bad. I disliked it more than the second one. Like, for this movie, the reason why it's worse than Jurassic World, by like 45 minutes, I just left it playing and I like did my own thing and just had it on. I like barely paid attention to it. I'm surprised it's even on this list. I forced myself to watch through it, and I did not understand a single bit that even happened in the movie. The only part I remember is that one guy giving a wand to another guy, and I don't even know their names. I know Dumbledore. That's the only character in this entire movie that I know, and I barely remember a single scene with him in it. I remember like 3 scenes, a second of them. Like, once Fantastic Beasts 4 comes out, I'll probably still watch it, but I'll just keep my expectations way low on that one, because it turned out the third one was the worst movie of 2022. But anyways, that is my top 10 worst movies of 2022. I hope you guys enjoyed. Share your list down below. And see you guys all next time. Goodbye.